Hello to all of the Simmers out there. I know we are all so excited about the new Sims 1 and 2 re releases, and as somebody that's been playing The Sims 1 consistently for like too long, I figured I'd make like a little kind of tips and tricks. I don't know if you'd even call it that, just kind of like a video showing how I make the game easier. I know The Sims 1 can be kind of intimidating, especially if you've only played like Sims 3 or Sims 4. It's definitely more difficult in terms of like keeping your needs met, getting promotions, making friends. All of those things are definitely more difficult in this game, and these are just going to be some of the ways that I make it a little bit easier. All right, so starting off, this one is totally optional. This is a personal preference, really. So before I do anything, I'm going to start in my Create a Sim mode, and I am not going to fill out my personality at all. What I'm going to do is once I'm in game, I'm going to use kind of like a little hack to max out all of my personality traits. And so it'll go from 0 to completely neat, completely outgoing, playful, so on. And for me, I feel like this just makes it a little bit easier to get along with other Sims, make friends for promotions, and also keep up with like keeping the house clean because the flies in this game are so annoying. But this is totally optional. This is just a personal preference. Obviously, if you want to just fill these out however you would like, that is also a totally valid option. So I'm not going to do that, which means I'm going to hit done, and the game is going to tell me that I didn't use the personality points. Am I actually done? Yes. And then I'm going to finish, and I'm going to move my sim in. I pretty much always will choose this particular house just because I feel like it leaves me with exactly the right amount of simoleons to purchase all of the things that I like to purchase. Alright, so also there is a help system. If you're like new to the game or you're really struggling with it, then you can turn this on. I'm gonna say no for myself, however. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the buy mode, and this is related to reversing my personality traits. So if you're not doing that and you're just picking personality traits or points, you don't have to do this. I'm going to buy this potion station, which is located in miscellaneous knowledge, and I'm going to use this to switch her personality. So essentially, this is kind of a grind. I'm just going to keep making potions until I get a yellow potion, and the yellow potion will switch your personality to be the exact opposite of whatever it already is, which means my traits will become completely full. With this station, if you do choose to do this, do not let your sim drink anything except a blue or a yellow potion. All of the rest of them are just absolute menaces. If you get, say, a purple or an orange, you're just going to take this whole thing and delete it and start over. You're not going to let them drink any of those potions. Alright, so the next thing, and I feel like this is really helpful, is make sure that you start with a good bed. This is the one that I normally start with. I feel like it's a good enough bed for the price. So you're going to get Comfort 8 and Energy 8. Comfort is one of those needs in this game that I feel like is always a struggle to keep up with. So a good bed will prevent, well, it will ease the struggle of keeping your comfort need up, and it'll also help you sleep less, which, you know, obviously you can get more done if you're not sleeping the whole time. The next is also related to comfort. We're going to make sure that our couch has a good comfort level. I like this little white love seat because it's Comfort 8 and it's only 875 simoleons. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab that, and then we're going to move into electronics. And so for people who have never played The Sims 1 and have only played like The Sims 3 or 4, you might not realize this, but you have to have a landline. Cell phones did not exist in this time for The Sims, and so if you want to leave the lot, you have to have a landline. It's not optional. Next is also in the electronics, but it's under other, and that's a fire alarm. You definitely need the fire alarm. I'm pretty sure the favorite pastime of Sims in The Sims 1 is to catch their kitchen on fire. I'm pretty sure that's like canon. So definitely always start with a fire alarm. Also, go ahead while you're here and grab a burglar alarm, because it is such an awful feeling to set your whole sim up and then like the first night you get a burglar and you lose all your stuff, and then you have to like grind away at a job to get all of your stuff back. Nobody enjoys that. So moving on from there, we're gonna go here and we're going to grab a bookshelf. Now, if you're going to play with magic, you may end up deleting this. It's just like a personal choice. I'll show you as I get down the line. All right, next, we're going to need a stove. So just grab the basic stove for now. Obviously, you don't start out with a ton of simoleons. So you're just gonna grab a basic stove. You've got your fire alarm. You should be good. However, there is one thing I do want to point out. This is something I see a lot of people who are new to The Sims, or new to The Sims 1, not realize. These two wooden, quote-unquote refrigerators, they are in the refrigerator category. They are not refrigerators. Your sim cannot use these to cook. They're a huge waste of money. So do not purchase these unless you're going to garden. If you're going to garden, which you're probably not going to start off doing that anyway, then you can store your freshly harvested produce in here, and then you can use it to make meals. Otherwise, if you don't have a garden and you don't have the produce to stock it, all you can get is a snack, and that is not helpful in this game. So do not mistake these for refrigerators. They are not, and they will not benefit your sim. They are definitely not worth it. Okay, one other tip. Always use a shower. I feel like the baths take a lot longer, and it's just not really worth it, because then your other needs are depleting while it's taking forever for your hygiene to go up. So always choose a shower. They are definitely faster. Okay, moving on to the next section. This is about making magic. So if you're not going to play with magic, then this whole section is kind of irrelevant. But I always play with magic. It's one of my favorite of the packs for this game. So, what you're gonna do, first, we're gonna wait for the magic man to bring us our box. Alright, there it is. We're gonna go grab all of our stuff. Magico Starter Kit. Alright, back into buy mode. This is for your wand spells. You're going to stock this with ingredients and it'll charge your magic wand with spells. The next thing, and this is also optional, this is just a personal preference of mine. I always sell this. I feel like it looks so clunky. This is the like electronic spellbook. I feel like it looks clunky, and I like this cute little like witchy spellbook. So I'm gonna swap those. And then you're going to buy the Ever After Crafter. This is mandatory to make magic charms. So if you're gonna play with magic, you're gonna have to have that. And then this is one of those optional things as well. I personally like to buy the Magico bookshelf, and I will show you why really quickly. So we're gonna take all of our stuff here. We're gonna grab our wand, all of our ingredients. All right, and this is why I personally tend to use this. So if you press the switch on this, it becomes a place to store all of your magic ingredients. So you can keep track of what ingredients that you have. And for me, so I like to, if I'm playing with a magic sim, half the time I want to move them into one of the 3 empty houses over in Magic Town. And so in order to, I don't know, kind of keep track of my magic coins, what I'll do is say I go earn 500 magic coins. I'm going to take and put 250 of those in here, and then I'm going to use the other 250 to buy like whatever ingredients I need for spells. And then I feel like it just helps me kind of keep track of both my ingredients and my magic coins. And then you can press the switch and it becomes a regular bookcase again. So if you choose to do that, obviously you're no longer going to need this bookcase. However, it is optional. It's just a feature that I enjoy. Alright, so back to magic. You're also going to need the Prick Me Not spinning wheel. So golden thread is something that you're going to need as an ingredient, I believe, for both charms and wand magic. And so you're going to be able to, instead of spending your hard-earned magic coins on buying it, you can just make it at home, and you'll also gain some mechanical skill points. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1. You're going to get your ingredients and you're going to gain a skill, which is also the same for the next thing that I recommend you purchase if you're going to do magic, and that's a butter churner, which obviously makes butter. I think that's kind of a given. Butter is another magic ingredient that you're going to need for charms and spells, and while you're making said butter, you can get some cooking skill, which we all know is beneficial for Sims because they love to catch the kitchen on fire. And that's kind of the same for this next one. You're going to want the wax and honey maker, and obviously it's a given. You're going to get beeswax and honey, which are both ingredients in charms and magic spells. So you'll be able to gain cooking and gain the ingredients that you need. And I do believe, say like you have too many for whatever reason, I do believe you can actually sell them for extra money too. So there's kind of like a little bonus there. If you don't need it, you can actually go ahead and just sell it and earn yourself a little bit of extra money. So the next category, and this is an optional category obviously, is pets. So if you're going to want a pet, obviously they're going to need a food bowl and they're going to need a bed. If you choose to get a dog, which is typically what I choose, and I'll give you my reason here in a minute, you're going to need to get the Squeaky Clean Pet Tub because dogs do not clean themselves, they get dirty, and you have to wash them. Cats in this game will, however, clean themselves. So if you get a cat, you don't need this. If you get a cat, obviously, you're also going to need a litter box and a scratching post, but here's the reason that I don't like to get cats. Unless you're going to garden. So unless you're going to garden, I don't recommend cats because they will spawn mice on the lot for them to practice their hunting skills, and then your lot will become littered with little balls of, well, whatever's left of the mice, to put it nicely. It's gonna end up everywhere. You're gonna have flies. It's difficult to keep up with cleaning them. However, if you're going to garden, cats will get rid of the pests, which I believe in this game are gophers and rabbits, that will destroy your garden. So if you're going to garden, I definitely would recommend a cat because you're going to end up with pests anyway from the garden, and it's definitely worth it. There is a scarecrow, but as far as I can tell, the scarecrow doesn't work nearly as well at getting rid of or keeping at bay the pests as if you have a cat. So, speaking of gardening, if you want to garden, go into build mode, go into plant, and there are 2 different types of garden plots. So, the first one is as the plot thickens, and that is going to be for berry bushes. If you want to grow berry bushes, you can get them at the shop in Magic Town, and you can also turn them into nectar with a nectar maker, which I believe is in that miscellaneous category where the wax and butter maker are at. If you want just like regular vegetables to grow in your garden, you can purchase those over in Old Town, and you will need the Instaplot Victory Garden. And you can just go purchase your seeds, and then you will just be able to plant those. And again, if you do do a garden, then the pantry is a good option for storing all of that, unless you're just going to go ahead and sell it. And that's obviously, you're not going to need the pantry if you're just going to sell all of it. So now that we've purchased everything that we need, the very first thing I like to do is make my sim study cooking. And I don't know entirely how true this is, but I read somewhere that like the first cooking skill that you get reduces the amount of fires in your kitchen by like 40%, and then obviously it goes up incrementally until it's almost impossible to catch fires, but they still do happen. All right, so let's go ahead and get our skill. Come on. Okay, perfect. So now I've got a cooking skill, and if you're doing the reverse personality, you're gonna come over here and you're just gonna start grinding away at potions. And I will just keep at this until I get the yellow potion. And it can take several days sometimes. You may want to grab your sim a job so that they've got some sort of income coming in. Obviously, that's up to you. But I will just try my best to like grind away until I get the yellow potion. All right, and while we're making these potions, we're gaining logic skill, which if you're using magic, that is a huge benefit because you're going to be able to earn a lot more magic coins over on the stage in Magic Town, and I believe it's the top left-hand lot where the stage for logic, yeah, it's the top, I believe the top left-hand. All right, so I've made a blue potion. I'm going to go ahead and swallow that, and it has completely refreshed my needs, which means I can just get back to making potions. And we've got another blue one. Like I said, it does take time, obviously. Oh, all right. Make sure you repair that. And try again. And so, yeah, that's just kind of a grind. Let's see, one other thing I will say, and this is kind of like a later game tip, but if you manage to reach the top of your Sims career in The Sims 1, after like a week or so, the game is automatically going to move your sim into another career at a much lesser level. And it's something that really drives me insane. I can't stand that the game does that. In order to avoid this, the best thing that I have found is to just never get that last promotion. Keep at the second to last level in your job, and you'll just be able to stay there. So hopefully I was able to help some of the new Sims 1 Simmers out there. If anybody has any more questions or anything you're curious about, obviously I just kind of touched on the initial starting of a Sims game. There's Magic Town, there's Studio Town, and I've played all of them pretty in depth. So if you've got any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments, and I will either answer in the comments or I will make another video if it's something that requires more than just a quick comment. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoys these new re-releases, and thank you so much for watching. Enjoy The Sims.